Among the many everyday objects that illuminate the world of antiquity, the Roman oil lamp holds a special place. Small, portable, and practical, these lamps were a vital source of light in homes, temples, workshops, and public spaces across the Roman Empire. Fueled by olive oil and fitted with a wick, they provided steady illumination after sunset, transforming darkness into usable time. Yet Roman lamps were more than functional objects. They were also carriers of art, symbolism, and cultural meaning. Archaeological finds reveal a remarkable variety of Roman lamps, from the simplest undecorated clay vessels to finely crafted pieces in bronze, silver, or terracotta decorated with intricate motifs. Their designs often reflected contemporary tastes and values. Some bore images of gods and goddesses, while others depicted mythological scenes, animals, or everyday activities. These decorative elements made lamps not only utilitarian but also expressive of identity, belief, and status. Wealthier households might commission elaborate pieces, while simpler versions served the needs of common citizens. Lamps also had ritual and symbolic significance. They were used in religious ceremonies, funerary contexts, and festivals, where the flame represented purification, guidance, or the eternal presence of the divine. In tombs, lamps symbolized light in the afterlife, accompanying the dead on their journey. Because they were mass-produced and widely traded, lamps also provide valuable insight into the economic and cultural networks of the Roman world. Workshops stamped their products with makers' marks, allowing archaeologists to trace patterns of trade and distribution. From Britain to North Africa and the Middle East, Roman lamps testify to the empire's vast reach and interconnectedness. In essence, the Roman lamp was far more than a source of light. It was a reflection of Roman craftsmanship, daily life, and the enduring human desire to banish darkness with flame.
The oil lamp was one of the most essential objects in ancient Rome, used daily across households, public buildings, temples, and military camps. These small vessels, usually crafted from clay or bronze, provided light in a world without electricity, turning darkness into usable hours for work, worship, and leisure. Fueled by olive oil and fitted with a linen wick, Roman lamps were simple yet ingenious devices that reveal much about the technology, artistry, and culture of the empire. The basic form of a Roman lamp consisted of a reservoir to hold the oil, a spout where the wick rested, and an opening at the top for refilling. While this design remained consistent, the variety of shapes and decorations was immense. The most common examples were terracotta lamps, produced in molds that allowed for mass production. These could be plain and functional or embellished with intricate reliefs. Bronze and, on rare occasions, silver lamps were more costly, serving as luxury items for wealthy households. Decoration on Roman lamps reflected the diversity of Roman society. Many bore religious and mythological imagery, featuring gods, heroes, and symbols associated with divine protection. Others depicted gladiators, chariots, animals, or scenes of daily life, turning the lamp into a miniature canvas of Roman culture. Erotic motifs were also popular, particularly in private settings, illustrating how lamps could reflect both sacred and secular aspects of life. Production centers for lamps existed throughout the empire, with notable workshops in Italy, North Africa, and the eastern provinces. Makers often stamped their lamps with distinctive marks, functioning as signatures or trademarks. These stamps have become invaluable to archaeologists in tracing trade routes and understanding the scale of Roman commerce. The widespread distribution of lamps demonstrates both the efficiency of Roman trade networks and the shared cultural practices that unified distant provinces. Lamps also carried symbolic significance. In religious rituals, they were used to honor deities and accompany offerings. In funerary contexts, lamps were placed in tombs as symbols of eternal light, guiding the dead on their journey into the afterlife. Festivals often involved the use of numerous lamps, their flames creating powerful visual spectacles associated with purification and divine presence. Despite their ubiquity, lamps were not without practical challenges. They required frequent refilling, and their smoke and odor could be unpleasant in enclosed spaces. Nevertheless, their importance cannot be overstated. They extended the day, enabled literacy and craftwork after dark, and played a central role in worship and commemoration. Today, Roman lamps are found in vast numbers in archaeological sites and museum collections. They survive as some of the most accessible artifacts of antiquity, providing direct insight into both the daily routines and spiritual lives of the Romans. In their combination of utility, artistry, and symbolism, Roman lamps embody the ingenuity and cultural richness of the ancient world.
В Римской империи с III по II века до нашей эры начали производить глиняные и терракотовые обточенные светильники, подобные греческим. Искусственное освещение было распространено в Римской империи. Свечи, сделанные из пчелиного воска или сала, несомненно, были самым дешевым средством, но свечи не были обнаружены во время археологических раскопок. Однако лампы, работающие на оливковом масле и других растительных маслах, сохранились в большом количестве и были изучены. Некоторые римские лампы были сделаны из металла и могли иметь очень сложную форму, но обожженная глина была более распространенным материалом, и большинство небольших, вероятно, недорогих глиняных ламп имели один фитиль. Римские лампы были масляными, сделанными в основном из глины. Они предназначались для источника света, которого было больше, чем от свечей. Со второй половины II века масляные лампы лепили из глины с помощью двух форм. Римские лампы были в основном масляными лампами, сделанными из глины или керамики, предназначенными для постоянного источника света и большего количества света, которое давала свеча. В поздний период империи у местных мастеров вновь начинают обтачивать светильники, наливая в них оливковое масло.
So what we have here is a collection of Roman oil lamps. And these are everyday domestic items, which I rather like. And actually my favourite is this one here in the middle. Stamped on the lid are two Romans, and they're in the bath. And one of them has a strigil, the curved piece of metal that's used for cleaning. And you can see, if you look in close, that what you have is a master with a slave, and the slave is cleaning his master's back. So we have a small Roman oil lamp here, and on the lid there is a stamp of two people, a master and a slave, and the slave is using a strigil, the curved piece of bronze that was used for washing, to clean his master's back. This is the kind of little detail that I really love, because I do a lot of tours and I tell people about Roman bathhouses and what happens, and you describe these things, and then people can come here and actually see that these things actually took place. This is one of the ways that we learn about life in the Roman Empire, from these pictures of their life that they left behind. And these, say, are the rest of these are standard oil lamps. Some decorated with scenes from life. Some decorated with just patterns and trees and so on. I have a tree like that in my garden. There we are.
В эпоху правления императоров Августа и Тиберия в первом веке до нашей эры в производство светильников были внесены изменения. Светильники стали делать в форме в виде диска. Емкость для масла украшали орнаментом, мифологическими сценами, фигурками богов или сценами из повседневной жизни. Потом, со второй половины первого века, изображения упрощаются, и детали на них выполняются менее искусно. Чаще встречаются орнаменты, растительные узоры или одиночные фигуры. Светильники поздней империи начинают украшать христианскими символами, крестами, библейскими сценами и животными. В эпоху императора Августа многие светильники на дне были отмечены клеймом производителя. До нас дошли редкие клейменные экземпляры той эпохи. Их делали маленькие автономные мастерские по традициям семейного производства. Со временем их место заняли крупные фабрики в центре Римской империи, которые штамповали светильники, и часто по их формам работали и периферийные маленькие мастерские. В северной части в большом количестве производились светильники под названием фермолампы, которые отличались простой и удобной формой и клеймом производителя на дне. До V века часто встречается на таких светильниках клеймо «Fortis» на всех территориях империи, кроме Греции. Многочисленные формы для производства таких светильников найдены в разных провинциях Римской империи, куда их привозили из северной части Древнего Рима. С республиканской эпохи светильники Римской империи становятся необходимым повседневным атрибутом жизни всех слоев населения. Светильниками освещали разные помещения римских домусов. Глиняные светильники были в служебных помещениях, а самые дорогие бронзовые в комнатах хозяев дома. Светильники нужны были для освещения общественных зданий, храмов, терм, театров и амфитеатров. Точную дату и информацию о распространении ламп можно получить из детального изучения форм, знаков и украшений. Все это делает римские лампы важными находками. Их не так много на территории Римской Британии, потому что импортное оливковое масло, вероятно, в Британии было намного дороже, чем в других частях Римской империи.
The story of the Roman oil lamp does not end with its basic form or daily function. A deeper look reveals how these small objects encapsulate the empire's innovation, cultural exchange, and spiritual life. One of the most striking aspects of Roman lamps is their mass production. With the development of mold-made terracotta lamps in the 1st century BCE, workshops could produce thousands of identical pieces quickly and efficiently. This innovation not only made lamps affordable for ordinary households but also allowed decorative themes to spread widely. A popular motif created in Italy could soon be found on lamps unearthed in North Africa or Gaul, showing how artistic ideas circulated through trade networks. Some workshops specialized in particular designs, such as animal scenes or depictions of deities, while others focused on simple utilitarian models for everyday use. The variety of lamp forms also tells us about changing tastes and needs. Early Roman lamps were simple open vessels, but later examples developed closed bodies with decorated discs and multiple nozzles, allowing several wicks to burn at once. Lamps with handles or chains could be carried or hung, while elaborate bronze examples often adorned wealthier homes. Some lamps were designed for public spaces, providing light in baths or sanctuaries, where their glow created a communal atmosphere. Symbolism was ever present in lamp design. Christian motifs began appearing on lamps in the later empire, with images of crosses, doves, and biblical scenes reflecting the spread of the new faith. Earlier pagan examples often celebrated gods like Mercury or Venus, or used symbols of prosperity, fertility, and victory. The act of lighting a lamp was thus not merely practical but could also carry devotional or protective significance. Archaeological discoveries of Roman lamps have been particularly rich. They are found in abundance at domestic sites, military camps, temples, and especially tombs, where their placement alongside the dead symbolized eternal light. Lamps are frequently discovered in hoards, sometimes buried with coins and other valuables, suggesting they were treasured beyond their functional role. Makers' marks impressed into clay lamps have become invaluable to scholars, enabling the reconstruction of trade routes and the identification of regional production centers such as those in Tunisia and Italy. The study of soot deposits and wear also reveals details of use. Burn marks on spouts show how often lamps were lit, while residues of olive oil confirm the primary fuel. These traces bring us closer to lived experience, moments of reading, feasting, or worship carried out under the quiet glow of a flame. Ultimately, Roman lamps were more than sources of light, they were carriers of art, religion, and daily routine. Their sheer abundance means they are among the most accessible and personal artifacts of the ancient world. Each lamp, no matter how small, speaks of the universal human desire to master darkness and to invest even the most ordinary tools with meaning.
The Roman oil lamp endures as one of the most evocative artifacts of antiquity, a humble yet powerful object that illuminates not only spaces but also the character of Roman civilization. In its simplest form, it was a tool of necessity, allowing people to work, read, worship, and gather after sunset. Yet beyond its practical function, the lamp carried layers of meaning, artistry, and symbolism that reflect the values and imagination of its users. The decorative reliefs and motifs stamped on terracotta lamps transformed everyday vessels into objects of beauty and storytelling. From mythological scenes to depictions of gladiators and animals, these designs conveyed messages of identity, belief, and entertainment. In this way, lamps acted as miniature canvases, spreading images and ideas throughout the empire. Their wide distribution and the presence of makers' marks also reveal the sophistication of Roman commerce, demonstrating how such seemingly ordinary items linked distant provinces through trade and cultural exchange. Symbolically, the lamp was deeply tied to religion and ritual. Flames honored the gods in temples, illuminated festivals, and accompanied the dead into the afterlife. In each context, the light symbolized purity, protection, and continuity, underscoring the lamp's spiritual as well as practical importance. Today, the abundance of surviving lamps allows us to connect directly with Roman daily life in a uniquely personal way. Holding or observing one, we can imagine the glow it cast in a villa, a tavern, or a soldier's quarters. In these small, enduring objects, we find not only the ingenuity of Roman craftsmanship but also the universality of human experience, the desire for warmth, light, and meaning in the darkness. The Roman lamp remains a timeless emblem of civilization's ability to combine utility with culture and belief.